This is Ben Lang-Henriks of GenieEye Software talking about how our Midas LSX has evolved to support JSON and a REST interface, among its other capabilities. I'm going to start by looking at our reported sample database, which was created in 2003. It's got a whole bunch of orders shown in here, which we use to create some reports, just one of the many things Midas can do. In this case, we're creating a vertical bar chart. And if you mouse over the bars, you can see the totals. You can also create a tab table, in this case a nested tab table, showing all the orders and totals. Allows you to tab around and see everything on a single page. Now, over time, this report, which was great before the web, had to be shown in a web browser because that's what people were demanding. So if we go look at it the way the native Domino browser will render this, even in Domino 9 or Domino 10, you get a pretty lousy rendering. You get the tab tables are there and they work, but it's all spread out and makes it very hard to read. It's unreliable. Also, if you click on the little tabs, while you can see the additional information, there's a refresh on every single tab click so that it has to retrieve the whole page over again, which was a lot of load on the server. If we use our Midas LSX to render this report and then stream it straight to the browser, we get much higher fidelity, much closer to the notes interface. And if you'll notice, when you click on those tabs, it's all staying on the page because it just uses JavaScript to move around. So what you get is virtually identical between the Notes client and on the web. And that's our goal, is always to keep it as close as possible in the browser. If we look at the vertical bar chart, we have a similar situation. The high fidelity rendering like this, the mouse overs, which allow you to see the totals, that report is basically the same in the Notes client and on the web. If we show the native rendering, then we get something that is again spread out oddly, and we can go look at all the data. It's there, but it's not attractive, and if we mouse over, we don't see the totals, so it doesn't preserve some of the data which you need, which we do with our Midas LSX. But all this is great, but let's talk about how we're moving this to a REST interface. You might not want to get an HTML stream. What you might want is JSON, because that's what's commonly used to transfer data around. In this case, we mimic the Domino Access Services format, but with better rendering, so it comes out as MIME encapsulated in JSON. That same report passed to someone who can then use it in JavaScript or use it in a modern application front end. We can switch to a different format other than the Domino Access Services format. We can use MongoDB. We could go to a Salesforce-oriented one, which allows you to use Apex and put it into your Salesforce. We could use Cloudin and do it with IBM. We have lots of choices there. The other choice is to not do the report writing in Notes and Domino, but instead just pass all the data from all those orders and let the target do the report writing or handling in whatever way. And so we can also do that and just pass the JSON that way. Whatever, the Midas LSX lets you build your own JSON-driven REST API in Domino.